make these commitments, which because again he's elected, for by a certain group of people, but is not representative to the entire through a democratic process of elections and so forth. However, we have to understand that he is in a very difficult position, and he still has to play the responsible opposition role, because he has to make decisions now with regard to the fate of the Libyan people. Because if the atrocities do not stop, then the Libyan people will be suffering, will be seriously suffering, and this. From what we have seen over the past 2 weeks, actually, we have seen that al-Qaddafi established a ground to continue for a long period of time in this kind of fighting. So the Libyan people will be likely to suffer more, and I am concerned that we would be running into a long-term stalemate here, that the Libyan people will pay the price for this. So it is seriously for Abdul Jalil is to play that responsible opposition or responsible transitional council role at this point, and to try to reach out a solution. And the people around him should support him on this. But again, we have to understand the limitations, that anything that can be made at this point, it's limited to the arrangements at the present time.
Yeah, there's a lot of
long-term implications, have a whole different
negotiations
level,
to go on.
And that's what makes it very delicate negotiations, as I said. Thank you.
Ibrahim, thank you very much indeed for that.
Thanks.
Now, in Yemen, at least one inmate has been killed and dozens more injured during clashes with police at a prison in the capital, Sana'a. Around 2,000 prisoners have joined protests across the country, calling for the removal of President Ali Abdullah Saleh. Riot police fired warning shots and used batons to try to disperse prisoners after the protests began on Monday, but the situation is still out of control. Our correspondent Hashim Alhambra has the latest on the prison protest in Sana'a.
The situation hasn't been yet contained. We now know that one inmate was killed and that dozens injured, some suffering from the choking impact of the tear gas canisters, other suffered from gun bullet injuries. And we know that NGOs, committees are now outside the facility of the jail trying to get access to assess the situation. But we've been told by different sources and inmates the situation is really delicate now inside the jail, which is one of the largest incarceration facilities in Yemen, which accommodates regular prisoners, political prisoners, Houthi rebels, Al-Qaeda suspects, and all sorts of prisoners here in the capital, Sana'a.
Former Iranian President Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani has lost his position as head of the powerful clerical body which chooses Iran's supreme leader. Rafsanjani has been accused of being too close to the reformist opposition. He's been head of the 86-member Assembly of Experts since 2007. A criminal court in Egypt has upheld a travel ban on ousted President Hosni Mubarak. The decision prevents Mubarak and his family from leaving Egypt. Their financial assets and property in Egypt have also been frozen. Ayman Mohideen is in Cairo for us.
A criminal court in Egypt has upheld the decision by the prosecutor general that essentially banned former President Hosni Mubarak and his children and their families from traveling abroad. In essence, that decision now paves the way for further investigations into any potential wrongdoings against the former president and his family to continue. That decision was seen widely as a procedural decision, but no doubt the fact that the criminal court upheld the prosecutor general's decision is certainly a significant one, that the former president cannot leave the country pending these investigations. At the same time, 4 other individuals closely linked to the regime appeared in court today for the first time. Most notable among them was the former Minister of Housing, Ahmed Moghrabi, who was allegedly receiving kickbacks for land deals sold by the state to private companies, as well as other senior prominent members from the regime. More and more individuals are being brought in front of trial. Their court appearance today was seen as, again, mostly procedural. Their trial date is scheduled to begin once again in early April. This follows similar investigations into former ministers and prominent businessmen, including the former Minister of Interior, who appeared earlier in the week in court.
Ayman Mohideen there. Now, back to Libya. What does the future hold for the leader? Coming up, we'll take a look at what chance there is for Muammar Gaddafi to escape to exile and whether the international community will pursue him. And studying for a better life. On International Women's Day, we look at the challenges faced by Kenya's Maasai.
As the dry condition extends over Amritsar, we'll find the right flavor to tempt your palate.
Welcome back to International Weather Forecast. First of all, let's talk about what is happening down towards Greece. An area of low pressure has caused some significant amounts of rain for the south and some snow for the north. Here it is right here. The snow is so significant it closed the highways in the northern part of Greece over the overnight hours. Now, what is going to be happening as we move into the forecast here for Wednesday? That system is going to be pushing into Turkey. Significant amounts of snow are going to be falling for western and central Turkey, as you can see right here. Very heavy areas of white. A little bit further to the south and to the coastal parts of the Middle East, we're also going to be seeing some very heavy rain as well. Very windy conditions up here towards Morocco. We have this area of low pressure off the coast. That's going to be bringing some windy conditions. In Cairo, well, your temperatures are coming down significantly. Last week, we saw temperatures in the high 20s. Your high on Wednesday is only going to be about 17 degrees for you. Down towards the south, I want to take you especially toward that Mozambique channel. We are seeing an area of low pressure possibly developing right here. The forecast models are in question of whether this is going to develop into a tropical system, but as you can see, the circulation here is quite significant. Madagascar and Mozambique should both be on guard for the development of this system. We are looking at also rain down into parts of South Africa.
Qatar Airways, world's 5-star airline.
On the next Risk Khan Show, 1,000 women dying every day. That's roughly the toll from pregnancy and childbirth-related issues, all largely preventable. We look at maternal health issues.
Riz Khan, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Homes have crumbled and many buildings have been left just empty shells.
Tensions are high. Riot police trying to control thousands of Greek protesters on the streets of Athens.
A British court has approved the go-ahead for WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to be extradited.
The Gaddafi is waging a war against the Libyan people. They are killing civilians mercilessly. They're using ammunition, live ammunition.
Let's have a reminder of our top story here on Al Jazeera. Libya's opposition National Council has given Colonel Gaddafi 72 hours to step down as leader and stop bombing his people. They say if he does those two things, he can avoid prosecution at home. But Gaddafi's forces are on the attack in Libya's rebel-held towns. Battles are now ongoing in AlJazeera and in Ras Lanuf. Witnesses say residents are fleeing as the town is shelled in aerial attacks. Meanwhile, Britain and France are pushing ahead with plans for